The Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, the 6th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to the disciples, "Beware of practicing your piety before others, in order to be seen by them. For then you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So whenever you give alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret, and your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you. And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites. For they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, so as to show others that they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may be seen not by others, but by your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. You may be seated. Squirrels. I know, right? Squirrels. There's this joke about a pastor, you know. He calls the kids up and he says, "I want to talk to you about something. I want you to tell me what this is. You know, they're small and brown, fuzzy, and they've got long tails. And they eat nuts." And one of the kids leans over to the other and says, "You know, it sounds like a squirrel, but it's probably Jesus." Squirrels. Those fascinating little creatures. Those abundant and ubiquitous things that run around our yards. They're everywhere. We see them all over the place. It's kind of fascinating. When my wife and I lived in Philadelphia, down in Old City, where Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell was, they had those carriages drawn by the horses. You know, you could pay like $350 for a 10-minute ride around the block, right? So we're down there one time. I was down there at Independence Hall a lot. And, you know, we're walking around, and there's this family, and they're in one of those carts, and they're taking pictures. They got one of the big cameras. You know, this is back in the early 2000s when cameras were huge, and they're taking these pictures of the squirrels. And I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Why, mate? We ain't got these things down there in Australia, so I'll take pictures of them here. They're amazing." There's a little Tennessee Australian there. I'm trying to get it. Nonetheless, I'm thinking to myself, well, we've got them all over the place. I mean, some people eat them, you know? And he's like, well, you got koalas all over the place and them bouncy things. What are they called? Anybody? Somebody? Thank you. That was right out of my head. So, anyway, squirrels. We see them all over the place. They're everywhere. We have bunches of them in our backyard, feeding off the droppings of the bird feeders. They're quite fun to watch. They're rather amusing and revealing. You see, the squirrels, at least the ones in our backyard, are never free. The squirrels in our backyard are captive. Now, we don't have cages for them. They're not our pets. We don't keep them locked up. For anyone who's trolling the sermons on YouTube to look for a reason to be unkind, we do not lock up our squirrels. Okay? Good. But they are captive. They are prisoners, the squirrels in our backyard, to the bird feeder. The squirrels spend all of their time, all of their energy, their entire existence trying unsuccessfully to gain access to the bird feeder. They want that food. And they spend all day, every day, seeking it. They jump from this branch and miss, from that branch and miss, from that bush and miss. They jump from over here and miss. They try to climb up the pole to get to the bird feeder and cannot do it. We have like those big, looks like a garbage can lid, in the middle of the pole. And they try to go up. It's really quite fun to see those things go up and fall down, go up and fall down, jump and fall down. No matter how many times they try, no matter how slippery the pole is, or how big that circle thing is on the pole. No matter how many times they fall off, they keep trying. Now, this is not perseverance. Squirrels do not function on the level of perseverance. This is captivity. They are imprisoned by the bird feeder. Now, I guess my wife and I and our family and our loving kindness would get rid of the bird feeder and thus free the squirrels from their captivity of the bird feeder, but then we would miss the cardinals and the downy woodpeckers and the blue jays and all the other things that we like to see. So we're not going to free the squirrels. Why punish the birds? Because the squirrels can't figure out life. And here's the irony of it. You see, the bird feeder is here, and then right over here is a very, very fertile oak tree. So there is an abundance of acorns on our lawn. Literally, the squirrels are kicking the acorns out of the way to try to climb up the bird feeder. They are wasting their existence trying to grasp something that they cannot achieve, while at the same time overlooking that which they need right at their feet. They could be eating the acorns, basking in the sun. They could be playing with the other squirrels. They could be up in the tree throwing twigs and leaves and acorns at the cat that runs through our yard. Not our cat. Okay. Awesome. What's the point? Well, I hope you kind of got it right there. I look at human behavior a lot like the squirrels. Humans are so captive to the fear of death, to the fear of aging. Humans run from death. Humans long to escape from aging. We can just jump on that pole over and over again, trying to reach that fountain of youth. Look, now there's nothing wrong with taking care of ourselves. Please don't hear that. I am a big proponent for eating right and sleeping well and exercising and doing what is necessary to live a long and full life. This is not what we're talking about here. This is not a question of taking care of ourselves. This is the captive obsession of the lie that says we can slow down aging. We don't need to grow old gracefully because we do not need to grow old, because we cannot accept and embrace the concept of death. We must live forever. What is it? 90 is the new 70. 70 is the new 50. 50 is the new 30. And 30 is the new 10. We run and run from age. Run from truth. Trying to grasp that pole and climb it to reach that fountain of youth. So many people spend their lives striving to be young and perfect all the time, captive to the lie that aging is bad and youth is everything. I mean, hey, look, last time I was at the dentist, I was offered a shot of Botox for $10. I mean, great. I'm going to go get my teeth cleaned and I'll get my forehead straightened up too while we're at it. I went to the auto show yesterday. Took in a few things. Sat in a $100,000 Lincoln. Anyway, so here's all the cars, and then there's all like the traveling gypsies on the sides. This one over here has got like the South American yam that you put under your eyes to get rid of the bags. Because Lord knows we don't want any bags. And then there's this one over here that's got the serum that you put on your forehead, so straighten your forehead up. This one over here has the pill, and you take that pill in your lung. You're young, and you're alive, and you're vital. And on and on and on. And it was really fascinating because I'm walking around thinking about these squirrels. Look, all of this comes crashing into the solemn reality that we all know. You're going to die. We're all going to die. There's no way out of it. None of us get to leave this plane of existence alive. You're going to die. If you haven't figured that out by now, I'm sorry to give you the bad news, but somebody has to tell you, at some point, you're going to die. This day, the very purpose of this day is to be reminded of that, and thus to be set free. This day comes with freedom. Look, if you don't think you're going to die, then you're going to spend the entirety of your existence trying not to do it. You're going to die. It's going to happen. You are dust, and to dust you shall return. You're going to hear that in just a few minutes. When you come forward for the imposition of ashes, that is what I'm going to tell you. That is the same thing that believers have heard for the past 1,800 years. You are dust, and to dust you shall return. You are going to die. Thus, you are set free from the lie of the world. You are set free from the need to grasp the greased pole of eternal youth. You are set free from the captivity of presenting 30 years younger than you are, because that is what the world tells you you're supposed to be. Again, I'm a big proponent of taking care of ourselves. This is not carte blanche to go out and stop moving and eat bonbons and watch reruns of Wheel of Fortune all day. Though if you need to do that from time to time, please feel free to take care of that, because we all need to love ourselves. The lie of the world is that you're going to live forever. The reality of the church and the reality of life is you are not going to. You are dust, and to dust you shall return. The freedom is this. When you know that truth, then you get to choose what you're going to do every day from this day to that. You can spend your life chasing after that fountain of youth. You can spend your life trying to climb that greased pole, like the squirrel. Never really achieving that which you want because you're going to die. Or you can spend time eating acorns and live life. Loving each other. Spending each breath as it is a gift from God. Being free from the attempt to live forever with the reality that you're going to die. You're dust. And the dust you shall return. So every breath from this one to that one, you are now free to use for the glory of God, rather than chasing the dream of living forever. You are free from that need to reverse life's inexorable march. You are free to be 20, or 30, or 50, or 70, or 90. Any centurions in the room? No? Okay, I'll stop at the 90s then. You are free to be who you are, and you are free to enjoy every breath as you have been given, until you have no more breath left give. Here's the thing. Okay, so you're going to die. Remember your dust. The dust you shall return. You got that part, right? I don't have to say that again, right? Good. Your God doesn't leave you in dust. You want to climb the grease pole to eternal life? That's what it looks like. That. Because that pole is eternal life. And your God is climbing for you. So when you return to the dust, you don't have to stay there. Every breath, from this one to the last one, you are now free to use for the glory of God, to love each other, to pray for each other, to stand with each other, to hold each other up, to embrace each other, to share the love that God has given to you with each other. Till that last breath comes. When you return to the dust. And then your God, my God, calls us forth from the dust. You are dust. And to dust you shall return. But you don't stay there. Thanks be to God. Amen.